What up, guys? Dobie1 here again, and I'm doing an EVO preview this time. Before we get started, I just wanted to say that I did a reactions video with a friend for E3, like gave her thoughts on it and stuff, but I never actually got around to editing it, and it's been a good month now, so let me know if you want to see that. Otherwise, it'll probably just stay on my computer and like for eternity. So if you're interested in that, be sure to let me know, and I'll get around to it. But I just haven't gotten around to it myself, and it's been a while now that it doesn't really feel relevant to do anymore. Another thing I wanted to say is I'm not going to do fantasy for this. I'm just going to go over the brackets and kind of expectations and stuff, simply because this is huge. I've got like 7 tabs open right here, and this is just Smash 4. So for the most part, for the projected, I feel like it's all about right. There were a few things I wanted to look at. Renai Esam, I still think it's going to go to Renai, but that'd be a set worth watching. Void versus Raito is definitely a set versus watching. I think almost anyone would probably favor Void, but Raito's got his fair share of wins as well. We've got, I think Ken is pretty safe for this whole thing. He's doing really good. Finally came to America, best player in Japan. I wanted to point out Charlie the King is a very big dark horse, a very big potential upsetter, because if you looked at Alim Saga last weekend, he showed up. He showed up, and he could very well show up again. So even though it's got him projected losing right here, it's not too far-fetched to say that he could win this and then semis and then finals, and he could be the one to make it out of the pool. I'd still say Ken is the safe bet. I just wanted to kind of bring that up. Fatality as well right here, I could see beating Kirihara. And if I can remember when I'm actually looking at the bracket, I think I would actually have Fatality over Kirihara, because I believe Fatality beat him at Silver Bullet, correct? When Fatality was around a second. Locust and Abadongo could be either way. Abadongo, once again, probably the safe pick. And then Lele and Sue, I would probably ever so slightly give that to Sue, in all honesty. And then I still give it to Mr. Ollie, but Elegant as well. Similar to Charlie the King, he could very well cause an upset right there. So all that being said, I think, let's see, Zero and Runai, I believe that Alim Saga was really close, but it went to 0. This one will probably go to 0 as well. And then Void and Ken, I'd probably give that to Ken, but then 0 advancing. Ally and Tweak, I would want to give that to Ally, but I could see Tweak taking it. And then I think Dabuz over Como is a safe. Well, I'd still give it to Dabuz, but Como is really good. That could be his favorite. This was Leo and Fatality, I believe, right? So probably edge that out to Fatality. And then Salem and Abadongo probably edge that out to Salem. Actually, hang on. Where was Renai? Oh no, that's Renai. Sorry, I thought it said Raito. And then this would have been still Ken. That said Raito. I feel bad because Renai is like my favorite player. But yeah, so that was Ken beating Raito, and then Zero still beating Ken. And then we had Nairo and Captain Zack, probably safe pick for Nairo, and then Sue and Mr. Ollie. I'd want to give that to Sue also, to be honest. I don't know. I think Sue played Void with someone over the weekend, and they did really well. Like, I think it was Void, but I just don't see that being a fun matchup for Sheik at all. It feels terrible. You just like build him up to high percent, can't kill him, and then die in 2 hits. So I had 0. I'd probably give this to Dabuz. probably give that to Leo, and then that to Nairo as my top full and winner's side. And then drop down into losers a little bit. Elegant over Mr. E, Lele over Tyroy, Zenodo over Rich, Fro over Myron. So far, it's all looking about right. Edge over Anti. That's Void over Pink Fresh. Esam over Nietno. I can say it being Nietno, but I think Esam's a safe pick. And then Lele over Edge. Kameme over MVD. I want to say QB, but it could be Sam Sola. I'll go ahead and say QB. And then Kilihala over Wadi. Locust over Fallen. Zenodo over Foe. And hang on. Sorry, that was Void. Same thing either way. And then Lele over Elegant. Como and Lele would be a crazy set to watch. I can't really call that one, to be honest. Tweak over Zenodo. Ken over Locust. And Renai over Fatal. It's Kilihala. In my time as a villager player, I hated fighting Rosa, but I've seen Renai beat Dabuz. He could very well beat Kilihala as well. I don't know what the history is in Japan. I don't get to watch as much of the Japan stuff as I'd like to. But I'll be biased and give that edge to Renai. And then Mr. Arlen over QB. Zach over Kameme. So far, it still seems, about right. Fatality over Esam. I feel like the thing with Smash 4 is that you look at a bracket and everything's projected and it all comes out about right, and then you have the one top player who loses to the random person, and that's what causes everything to be as hectic as it ends up being. Because looking at this, it seems about straightforward. It's just going to be who's the hidden boss, or who would be the hidden bosses that mess everything up. Because honestly, everything seems about what you'd expect. Kenovu and I, Mr. Oluzak. I think Como or Lily, whoever it is, I would put them over Tweak. And then, I don't know, Salem is a wild card. Because if it's Nairo Saga Salem, then I've got him winning easily. But if it's like the time before, or like, I don't know, he just kind of goes in and out of relevance, it feels like. I'll probably give that to, go ahead and I'll give this to Coma, be biased a little bit, and then I'll have Coma go into top 8. And then Sue and Ken, give that to Ken. Void and Mr. Ollie, I'll give that to Mr. Ollie. And then Ally and, let's see, okay, so Abadongo and Fatality. I'd honestly put whoever wins over Ally. I think Fatality's been doing hot. I'll go ahead and put Fatality there. So the top 8 was Zero, Dabuz, Leo, and Nairo. And then Mr. Ollie, Como, shoot. I just don't remember who was Whaley. Yeah. So Mr. Ollie and Fatality. Right? Yeah. Mr. Ollie and Fatality, and then Como and Kin. I'd put Mr. Ollie, and then I'd put Kin. So we got Kin right here, Mr. Ollie. Oh, we got Mr. Ollie right here and Kin right here. And then I'd have Kin versus DeBuzz. I'd probably give that to DeBuzz, because I'd have Zero beating DeBuzz, and I'd have Leo beating Nairo, and Zero beating Leo. Actually, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say Leo beats Zero. Oh, wait. Sorry, I take that back. DeBuzz beats Zero, and then Leo beats DeBuzz. So this would be Ken versus Zero again. Zero takes it. And this would be Como versus... Oh, no, it wouldn't be Como. It would be... Mr. Olive versus Nairo. I'd give that to Nairo. And then Nairo and Zero, I'd give to Zero. Give that to Zero. I'd probably have Zero winning the whole thing from losers. So sorry if that was a little hard to follow. It gets kind of hard when I'm just trying to do it by memory as opposed to the projected bracket. But the projected bracket was looking pretty accurate through all this. So I think you could just look at the projected bracket right here and have a pretty good idea of what to expect. Jumping into Melee, I'm going to do the same kind of formula. SJ and None is a set to watch. I think Wizzy... I think SJ would take that, but None is like amazing at random times. I think it's pretty safe to put Wizzy right here, but the Moon could do it. Cyrox, I think this is like pretty safe for Mewtwo King, generally speaking, but Cyrox has been on a tail as of late. On that note, so has... I thought I was jumping to the right pool. Crap. So has Crush on that same note. I still think this would be safe for SFAT, but just wanted to kind of throw that out there. This is an interesting one because you've got Wobbles, who I want to say has been inactive for a good while, but it's still Wobbles at the end of the day. And that's the big thing to look out for. If he shows up, then he could take this entire pool. It's just, will he show up? And as much as I would love to say yes, I'm going to go ahead and say no, give that to Shroomed, and then Shroomed and Pew Pew. And I don't know the set history, but I believe Pew Pew is ranked over Shroomed in NorCal. So I'm going to give that to Pew Pew for that reason. And then Duck and Lucky, I still think Duck is the safe pick. Swedish and Ice, still think Swedish is a safe pick. So then all that taken into account, S2J and Armada, I would love if S2J, like, S2J getting his run back from Genesis is great. And if he could actually close out that last game this time, that would be insane. And so I would love to see that. I'm not going to put my money on that. But S2J basically being the first person since Leffen to to beat Armada without, already being like an established player. And I think Leffen was like established, but like he wasn't a god. The point is Armada doesn't lose. And so it would just be crazy if SJ could find a way to close that out. And then we've got Wizzy and Axe. I would want to give that to Axe. MTK and PPU would want to give that to MTK. Leffen and West, probably to Leffen. Hbox over Duck. Chudat over SFAT. Get back, SFAT. It's your boy Chudat. Mango over Swedish and Plup over Jugfox. And then suddenly we got some sets. Armada and Axe. I think that would be the least interesting of this bunch. Probably up to Armada, safe pick. Mewtwo King Leffen. Um, I don't think Leffen is necessarily like at his peak yet. Like he was like the same level he was when he was winning all the summer tournaments. So I would tentatively give that to Mewtwo King. But if Mewtwo King's playing off, then it could be free for Leffen. Hungry Box and Chewdat. I know Chewdat's got some technology. Well, he's gonna have been working on stuff. He said he was going to after they played at was it like DreamHack, I think. Um, and HBox basically camped him out game 5. I think Chewdat said that he was gonna lab it and find an answer. So I'm curious to see what he's come up with in that time. I think HBox is a safe pick, but that's a set worth watching. And then Mango and Plup is always a set versus watching. Let's be real. I think Omada, I think as seeded right here is about right though. Just all of them really interesting, really worth watching. So then dropping into losers, Hugs and Amsa. That's gonna be a really good losers round one set. If anyone watched the Canadian tournament that Amsa was at a month or two ago, I think everyone figured Amsa would take it, but Hugs actually ended up taking it. I love Amsa. He's like literally my favorite player of all time. He's the reason I got into competitive Smash, competitive Melee especially. But I think that Hugs would be a safe pick there too. KJH. Rishi, formerly known as Smash God. He's one of the up-and-coming MDVA mullis, along with Zane, who has beaten Plup at Big House, and as well as Leffen at Smash and Splash. And it wasn't even Leffen playing off so much, because Leffen ended up getting second with his giant losers run. I'm not positive. I want to say Rishi's ranked over him, so he could very well do that. But I think Ice, Nintendo, Crush, Diz, Lucky, Javi is worth looking into. Javi's like this crazy Mexican fox. I think at one point was considered the 6th best player, or like he could be the 6th god at one point. But that was that would have been before I got into the scene, so I'm not positive on that. But he was like used to be really good, like really highly praised. Cobble, Mike Hayes, ran forward, PPU. Except I had PP winning, so Shroomed. Cyrox, Silent Wolf, Moon, None, and MacD. So far, well good. Although, Abu and MacD, if that matchup is as bad as Omada likes to make it out to be, then that could very well be an Abu win. But I think MacD. Then I'll give None of MacD, Silent Wolf, PPU, Mike Hayes, Lucky. I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say Diz because I love my Ices. And then Nintendo. And I'll say KJH because KJH plays Doug a lot. And then what happened up here? I think West Balls. I think that's PPU. PPU and Nintendo. I think PPU. I think Axe over Diz. And I think S2J over Lucky. Even though I think Lucky usually wins. And then I think Drug Fox over Mike Hayes. I think Shroomed over Swedish. I think SFAT over Silent Wolf. And I think None over Duck. And then I'm going to say that None just goes in and has a run, and I'll have None over SFAT. And then I'll have Leffen putting a stop to it. I'll have Shroomed over Drug Fox, and then also over Wizzy. No, I'm going to say Wizzy wins that. I'm going to say Wizzy makes top 8. And then Axe over S2J. And I want to believe. I want to believe so much, but I think it's Plup. And then it's PPU. I think PPU over West Balls, and then Shootout over PPU. And so then top 8 is Almada over MTK. You know, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna say MTK over Almada if MTK is playing good enough, because he's starting to kind of take sets here and there. H-Box over Mango, then H-Box in winner's side grand finals. Drop into losers. Did I have Wizzy? I think I did. Yeah. So Leffen over Wizzy and Shootout over Plup. And then Almada over Shootout in a nail biter set. I'm gonna call that. Almada wins, but Shootout keeps it like nail bitingly close. And then Mango over Leffen's always a wild card at this point. I'll go ahead and I'll say Mango over Leffen, MTK over Mango, and then MTK resets the bracket, but H-Box takes it. Actually, you know what? I'll say MTK takes it just for the fun, because at that point, all 4 of the gods have won an EVO. So I'll say MTK winning the whole thing through losers. So yeah, that's my predictions. I tried to put a little bit of bias into the melee part because I didn't want it to be just like cut and dry straight off of this, but it still ended up being about that anyway. I think my top 8 was literally the exact same, like, for who makes it, now that I think about it. But, oh well. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm really looking forward to EVO, so be sure to check it out yourself. I think it's going to be, like, twitch.tv/EVOSRK, and then, like, a number. It'll be front page. There's no way it won't. But yeah, so that's it for me. Later, guys. W out.